Welcome to the Soulpreneur Journey podcast. LoraPerry here and Robert Jones, and we are here to talk about how to make money fast. So I'm going to hand it over to Robert.
Thank you. Let's be honest, building a business takes time, but you know what? Your bills don't care. They have to be paid when they're paid, right? So how do you generate cash flow today without sacrificing your empire that you're building for tomorrow? What I see a lot of times is the two get two combined. There's working in your business and there's working on your business. And for me, I always have to know which one I'm doing, and it takes both. You have to work. You have to do the job. You have to work or hire somebody to do it, but you also have to build your empire. So I think we should go over a little bit about the strategies and the systems and stuff to make money today while still building your dreams and not getting distracted. So sometimes I know when we're talking to people that they have, I don't know, obligations, they have a day job, and then they're trying to build this thing. And then they get really into building it and they realize they have now two jobs, sometimes three, right? I mean, how many do you have, Laura? Lots, right? You've got this as a podcast, all this stuff. And then sometimes it can distract you from doing what we need to do, which is make money. So I kind of think that we should stick to that topic and talk to the audience and give them some solid ideas of how to think about this. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And we will. So, first, I do want to say, though, when we're building our business, we pull everything from our inner world and we bring it out into form. So when we're creating impact and transformations and articulating what we do and we're building our marketing and we're building our email structures and our content structures, like all of this is important, and it's really like the foundation of a house, right? It's the bones of it, or it's the heart and soul of it, but the foundation of your business is the foundation of your heart, of your house as well. And so it's so important that you do this because this is how you scale. This is how we can not only scale, but keep our energy up and do so many things, have so many plates turning, have all these gears in motion working together and making a lot of money with multiple streams of income instead of doing those one hit kind of wonders that we're going to talk to you about today, but also educate you on the very practical methods when you are in a position to say, wait, I need to make money while I'm doing this, or wait, I have to pay this bill, or um, I have to buy groceries, or I'm going to have to go get a job, right? We need to do what it is that we can that's right in front of us in order to take care of ourselves while we're doing all this foundation work and building the business from the inside out, right? So, Robert, let's talk about those strategies and the practical tips that we can give people.
okay. So one thing I think we need to divide this up into is like strategic income versus distracted income. Okay. So income at some point is income. You need the money, right? But we're talking about building your business. We're talking about building your legacy. So your cash flow um, needs to be aligned with your empire that you're building. Distracted hustles, the things I see on TikTok and stuff, how I made extra in my spare time, that robs your energy. Yes, it pays the bills, but it robs your energy. So, for example, very quickly, in my business, I have a martial arts school. Running a martial art birthday party would be aligned if I wanted to do that with growing my business and making quick income now. Okay, I could do a birthday party this weekend, make $350 and also get leads, right? Driving Uber every night, though it may pay the bills, is a distraction from it doesn't grow my business unless I have an Uber business, right? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that you need to think strategically about this. Now, so that's the main thing is to divide that because going out and doing Uber is like just going back to work, right? It doesn't build your business. So, anything on that, Laura? Those two definitions are
Yeah,
kind of.
no, I think that's great. Exactly. And what we teach people in our courses is how to build strategic income and to build that empire, right? So that they have that consistent cash flow, so that they're not worrying about when am I going to do my next launch, or when can I do my next campaign, or who do I reach out for to pay me, right? Um, And then why don't you just explain a little bit more about the distracted income when it comes to business owners? Because we really want to help you guys out. Like if you have a business and you're building it, but you're like, am I doing strategic income or distracted income? Do you want to highlight on that
Yeah,
just for our
I think.
solopreneurs?
Yeah, I think a lot of times the distracted income, sometimes we have to do this. Sometimes we just have to, I mean, depending on where you're at in your business, maybe you are already doing Uber. And maybe you're already saying, this isn't how I want to spend my life, right? That's why I'm building the business. Well, I'm not telling you just to shut it down, but you're going to have to turn it into something. So anything that distracts you from building your business and making money. That's kind of the rules. If you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. I'm not telling you not to do things, but if I'm okay, so let's take the Uber thing. I'm driving Uber at night. I'm not, but let's say I am because I have to pay my bills, right? Well, what do I do in between calls? Could I do a podcast? Yes. Now I've turned in that into a strategic thing. I could start doing TikTok videos in the Uber, right? I could turn that. So at that point, it's not a distracted hustle anymore. It's helping me while I'm doing the same thing. So things in your business that create money now, but distracts you from making money now plus later, you need to be aware of. So I could give you examples, but I think that's pretty explanatory.
Okay.
You just want to make sure that what you're doing when you're making money now, and we're going to give you some ideas, that it aligns with everything that you do in your business. I have a martial arts school. I do not have an Uber business. So me wanting to make it a little bit extra money, and I'm trying to figure out how to do Uber is a distraction, even if it makes me money. Now, again, I keep going back to if you don't have choices, don't send me an email saying you told me this, right? Do what you have to do to make ends meet. But then try to align it. Try to align it. I couldn't align Uber with my business, and I don't want
Mhm.
to do that. Okay, so now doing a birthday party, which I don't choose to do. I don't like doing them. I mean, I like doing them, but I don't do them in my business because I've chose not to. I do other things, but that does align with my business really well. So you have to take your business and you have to write down all the ways that you can or you have made money in your business. And then you got to look at each one of those and you got to look at the one shot wonders, and then you got to look at perpetual and you have to get them organized so that you're able to start making choices on where you want to spend your time.
Okay, so
Uh,
let's
so
so
there.
let's first start about the soulpreneurs that they've left their 9 to 5. I see so many people going back to their jobs because they just haven't figured anything out. They've maybe kind of created a product, they've maybe kind of created a service, they maybe kind of offered it to people or posted on social media, but they never learned the entire process. And that's what we teach people at the Soulpreneur Prosperity Academy is the entire product process without the gaps. So I want to highlight that because going back to a 9 to 5 job is not aligning yourself with your dreams unless you find that it is. And it is that distracted income that you need, but it's still taking your time and your energy and your passion away from where you actually want to be spending your time. And so I want to say my first tip is figure out if you don't have a product or a service that you can offer somebody right now, figure out what you can because we all have gifts. So I know like an intuitive coach and an intuitive business coach um, who is an intuitive around business, and she certainly could monetize sessions and focus on package deals and focus on maybe even group discussions around heightening your intuition about around your business. So I would say my first tip is to figure out what it is that you can offer if you don't have something. And if you do have something that's made money before, offer that back to your list or to your clients. I want to say it's right in front of you. So much of what we are trying to do, we tend to ignore for some bigger payday or some bigger paycheck, but the relationships in our business and the connections that we make and those dynamics are right in front of us. So like Robert said, if there's somebody that's paid you before, um, reach out to those people, offer a similar or the same service, offer them a discount, offer them a deal, give them a 3 package or 7 package or 10 package coaching session, right? There's so many streams of income that you can come up with and potentially offer. But Robert, what is your tip for how to make money fast when you have a business and perhaps they're started out to the point to where they have something, but how can they do it while they're building? And what do they do while they're building?
Yeah, I think actually you're right on that. Monetize the assets you already have. That's what we're talking about. And you actually said it. So I'll just put it down there. You got to ask yourself a question. You ask yourself, what do I already have that others would pay for or have paid for? Now, depending on where you're at in your business, If you haven't gotten anything yet, then we're not actually talking to you. That's a different process. But if you have something that you've already sold or that people have purchased or asked you about, then you ask yourself that, what do I already have that others would pay for? And then you start to figure out how to monetize that. And you make a list and you write it all out. Okay. And then you come up with an offer based on that. And then you start selling, you start doing it. So yeah, I can use my example. So you need a little money now for whatever reason. You got to pay bills or maybe you got to advertise. I have a list of people who have requested information on martial arts. I have that. I already have that. So I'm not doing anything with it. That's an asset. Okay. That's money sitting there. And if I don't talk to these people, if I don't send them an offer, then it's not an asset anymore. Okay. So I used to have an instructor who used to ask me if I was sitting on my assets. I was so young, I never even got what he meant, right? So after a while, I realized what he meant. You got to work it. So you look at what you have, and you look at what you have to offer, and then you just do the thing. You start offering it. You just start offering it, and you don't get overwhelmed. Um, if you have a list of 100 people, that's 100 offers. Well, what do I offer? Well, where are you at in your business? I can offer a free lesson or I can offer a paid lesson. That's pretty easy. Well, I don't know what the market
Mm.
will take, but I can do it, and I can do that today. There's not an excuse. They're not hearing from me anyways. So ask yourself the question, what do I already have that others would pay for? Obviously, for me, it's martial arts. For Laura, it's coaching. And then make the offer. Do I have to read? Here's where I draw the line. Do I have to read 3 books about offers? Do I have to read 5 books about marketing? No, you just have to start a relationship and you just send out an offer. Yes, there's right and wrong ways to do it, but if you're already in business, you've already sold. I think you know that. So just start, figure it out. And this is a thing. Here's where I borderline a little bit. Try to make it so that it creates money now, but can create money in the future too. That's the 1-2 punch we're looking at. You pay your bills today, but you also set up tomorrow. That's an awesome way to do it.
And I love something that you said, Robert, not in this conversation, but recently you said that if someone has, I'm going to kind of rephrase it a little bit. If we've exchanged emails with someone, if we have given them a piece of information in order to receive their email address and like a lead magnet type of scenario, or they've opted into anything, or they're getting emails from us, even if they've never paid us for anything, it's our obligation to continue that relationship. And I think that a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to bother people, or I don't want to feel like I'm just asking for money, or I just don't want to, there's a difference between a cold lead and someone that knows you, a warm lead, maybe, and a hot lead, someone you've worked with before. So I think it's imperative to know the difference between those three. But also, it really is our obligation to maintain and continue the relationship. We get to do that as experts in our field or as service providers or product providers, whatever it is that we're doing. We are obligated because we offered something. And now, maybe we give them a touch point and then they respond, or maybe we give them 5 touch points and then they respond. But thinking that we are bothering people or that we don't need to maintain a relationship as money's just going to come to us in some way without any work or um, any connection is a little bit of a misconception, right? So it's a joy to do these things. It's an amazing opportunity in order to create these relationships and friendships and connections and partnerships. And you co-create with some of these people that you get to meet and continue with. So that right there is one of, I think, the most overlooked things is people trying to skip to a really big payday when they haven't even learned to take baby steps in making a relationship first and foremost, and just providing, um, exercising that communication and learning from it in order to develop what's my next step. What's my next step? Oh, how can I streamline this? How can I scale this? How can I create something that I can scale, right? Like, it all starts with these first steps of just offering something that you can give and offering it today. Like, send email to people, reach out to people and offer it right now, and you'll be surprised at how much feedback and response you get.
Perfect. That was right. I was right next. You're like, I know I didn't share my list with you that I wanted to talk about. You're literally going right down it, taking all my thunder. So that is create a bridge offer. What she just said was create a bridge offer. Something small that helps your dream business and helps others too. That's what she just said. Okay, you take something small and you don't shoot for the fence. Don't try to hit the home run. Don't try to make a billion dollars. Just do a small offer, something small that builds your business and helps other people. That's perfect. And what she said was, I couldn't say it better. That's exactly what is on my list. So in your business, that could be a lot of things, right? It could just be something really small. If I think about my things that I respond to and stuff, I don't think twice about spending anything under $100 for something that will help me. Whether it does or not, I don't complain about it. I don't get my money back unless it's just a crap product and I'm sending a message, right? I look at it and say, well, it wasn't worth it, and I move on. Or I say, this is really cool. So just create a bridge offer, something small that helps people and builds your business, and you're on the path. That's the trick. Now you're going. Don't look for the home run because you're going to use this once you do this a one-time shot. You're going to see that it works. You're going to systematize this in your business like we teach you in the course, and you're going to do it over and over again. But you can't do that first. This is what we notice. We notice people trying to do that first when they don't even have a product that they know works. So if I send everybody what I'm calling a bridge offer, if I send everybody an offer, it doesn't work, and I've spent all this time building email campaigns, doing landing pages, I can get very discouraged and I'll start looking for my day job again, right? But if I send this little offer out and I get 100 out there and I get 50 people take me up on it, that's worthy of turning into a system now. Now I've got gold right there. This is pretty cool. So yeah, so that would be the next thing. Bridge offer. You got it.
Yeah. And so, anything else that you want to add, Robert, before I just kind of do a recap and close
Yeah.
us out?
The one other thing is that I want to tell people to look at their relationships that they have and see if there's anybody they can partner with that you can do they call them joint ventures, but don't get too overwhelmed with that. Is there somebody that does something similar to you that already is making money that could tag your product onto theirs for a little part of the action? That's an easy way to get the word out. So Laura has a list of 1,000 people she talks to regularly, and they give her money. They might want to know that she is offering something that I have, right? That she's saying, hey guys, try this out. And I could just, it's money I don't have, so I could split the income with her very quickly. And the worst case scenario is that I get a sell, right? That's it. So I would tell somebody to also look at their connections. That's why you should be nice to everybody, right? And then remember that you want to turn these things, you want to make money today, but you want to turn them into money tomorrow. So keep, and if you can't turn into money tomorrow, that's okay. But think about that. So if it pulls you away, even if it makes you money today, if it pulls you away from your dream, it's not making you money tomorrow, and that's not what you got in business.
Exactly.
So
That's not, yeah, the soulpreneur journey, it's a journey, right?
yeah.
And part of the journey is figuring out and learning this stuff so that you can live your dreams, not build someone else's.
Yeah, so I like to say start stacking your money smart. Okay, in layers, right? Stack your income smart, not scattered. It's fine. I made how much money last month? I made $30,000. Great. How did you do that? A little here, a little there, a little there. Okay, how are you gonna do that next month? Is it on autopilot? No. Okay, that's the day job problem. So yeah, so just invest your time into things that will build your business, but also will pay you today. If you think like that, you slowly start changing your daily tasks. A person that thinks like this, if we all wrote our tasks out, okay, and you give it to somebody that thinks properly, they will reorder your tasks. I see this in the martial art business all the time. Why does that one person make more money than 10 other people combined? He's not a better martial artist. In every case, he's very seldom is he a better martial artist. Sometimes, but not usually. Hey, what they do is they know how to prioritize their time. They know how to look and do the projects that make the most sense today. Okay, so that's what I got to
Yeah.
say. So recap all that, Laura.
Yeah, and I do want to add too, you're going to feel overwhelmed if you don't know how to do something because with the unknown and learning, there's a learning curve to everything. So if you're stepping into it with overwhelm, you have to do it overwhelmed, and the overwhelm does subside as you learn and begin to understand the skills that you need in order to pull all of this off. So start small, start where you are, look at what was right in front of you, and just know that all kinds of emotions might come up. Our emotions are generated by thoughts. So if you're having thoughts that are causing you to experience fear or feeling scared, overthinking, frustration, all of this is going to happen. We're human beings. But on the other side of all that is the joy and the results and the happiness and the learning and the journey that we're on, the growth. All of that's on the other side of it. So let us not wait for challenging emotions to subside. The action is what makes the challenging emotion subside. And the more you do it, the lighter it gets, and then you hardly even notice it. And it goes away a lot faster the more skilled that you get with building your business and learning how to make money fast. So, to recap, I really liked Robert what you said about strategic income and building your empire and making sure that the ways that you're spending your time and making money are part of building this empire for today, but also for your future. And bringing in cash flow right now is great as long as it's not that distracted income, like going back to a 9 to 5 job because you feel like you have to, because you just haven't learned or haven't given yourself grace to learn how to make an online or in person brick and mortar business. Of course, just to reiterate, let's stay away from the distracted income, which is anything that is not bringing in some kind of support system for your current business and helping you build that. And then also, let's remember to look at the assets we have. So, what's right in front of you? What's something small that you can offer, whether you've already created a product or service, or it's a gift that you have that you know you can offer and charge for it. Um, Even if you don't know, do it. Do it. You're going to learn. You have assets right in front of you. Every one of us does. There's not one of us that does not have something that we can offer right here, right now, today to someone else in order to uh, assist, guide, transform them in some way. And then lastly, the relationships with the people that we have worked with, right? Maybe they've paid us before, maybe they haven't, maybe they're leads on our lead list, maybe we just have their phone number or a business card. Let's nurture those relationships with past clients, potential clients, and as Robert said, with anybody else that we may be able to build with, we can co create with these amazing souls that are all around us. So I love that you said that too. Anything else, Robert, that you would like to add as we close out today?
No, I just think if you treat each dollar like a brick in your castle, you'll stop chasing coins and start building your kingdom. So you got to look at it not just a dollar today. You got to really focus on why you're doing it, and it will just keep it aligned and it will keep you moving in the right direction. It's so easy today to get distracted. Social media can really pull you off, and you'll end up getting a dog walking business because some guy on there said he makes $100,000 a year. I'm not saying that he doesn't, not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying if that's not your desire and you don't even like pets, stop that action. Okay. Put a stop to that because you got enough in your own business to make you happy and, or to make you, more money, wealthy. Um, because that's why you started the business anyways. Now, if you just wanted to make income, that's a different story. But I think everybody we're talking to has a deep connection to their business. It's part of who they are. And sometimes that makes it difficult to see where the money really is because nobody's trained to do that. Okay. We've all heard do what you love, the money will follow. That's not necessarily true. You have to make the money follow. And to do that, you have to think a little bit more strategically. So get out there, and if this has helped and it's got you a little bit clear, start with that question, write down what you have to offer, start with people that you can offer it to, and then make the offer. Bang, one, two, three, you got it.
Yeah, see how much money you can make today. I like that challenge. All right, Robert. Well, thank you very much. And if you're interested in learning more about our courses, our business building and marketing courses, check out www.loraperry.com and we will See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.